Welcome everyone, I'm Dale and this is Cinema Historia. Gold digging waitresses, the Flamingo Hotel, and a rich manhunt. This week we're going back to 1941 for a musical film called Moon Over Miami, starring Don Amici, Betty Grable, Robert Cummings, and Carol Landis. And this is directed by Walter Lang. So where does our story begin this week? Well, it begins with two sisters played by Betty Grable and Carol Landis. So sisters Kay and Barbara Latimer are working as car hops in a Texas drive-in restaurant with their Aunt Susan, who's the cook. They just got notified that their expected $55,000 inheritance is now only $4,000 after taxes. So determined to marry a millionaire, Kay, Barbara, and Susan spend their money on going on a trip to Miami in search of a rich man at a resort. With Barbara posing as Kay's secretary and Susan as her maid, they check into the Flamingo Hotel. There they meet Jack O'Hara, played by Jack Haley, a bartender who becomes quite fond of Susan. He also promises to point out all the eligible millionaires. Kay crashes a party at the hotel and meets the host, rich Jeff Bolton, played by Robert Cummings. She also meets Phil McNeil, played by Don Amici, heir to the renowned McNeil mines. So Jeff and Phil start competing for Kay's affection. Not being able to decide on two husbands, Kay also notices that Barbara's falling in love with Jeff. So at the end of 3 weeks, the women are in trouble because they don't have $150 to pay their hotel bill. So does Kay and Barbara fight over two handsome millionaires? Does Jeff and Phil discover that the girls are broke? And if so, does everyone get thrown out of the hotel? This is a great musical, actually, with loads of comedy and a lot of great dance sequences. It was actually based on a play called Three Blind Mice from 1938. For 20th Century Fox, Moon Over Miami had more songs, a bigger budget, and a larger cast than any musical the studio had ever done. In fact, in 2006, it was recognized by the American Film Institute's AFI's Greatest Movie Musicals. It was also one of Jack Haley's last appearances in a major, large, big-budget film. After 1943, he made mostly B pictures. And the film that he did previous to this one, well, he was the Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz in 1939. Pretty cool. And our trivia question this week. Did someone who played in this film have a serious health issue during a difficult dance number? Did someone who played in this movie have a serious health issue during a difficult dance number? So, a little more history and the answer to our trivia question coming up next. This week for history, we're going to talk about another character that played in Moon Over Miami by the name of Mr. Sylvester. So who was Mr. Sylvester? Well, it was played by Jimmy the Raven. Yes, Jimmy, often credited as Jimmy the Crow, was a Raven actor who appeared in more than 1,000 feature films from the 1930s to the 1950s. Jimmy belonged to animal trainer Curly Twyford. Curly stole the bird from a nest in the Mojave Desert in 1934. In fact, it was Jimmy riding on Twyford's bulldog along with two parakeets that initially caught a director's attention and launched Twyford's career as one of Hollywood's earliest animal trainers. Jimmy first appeared in You Can't Take It With You in 1938, and director Frank Capra would then cast the bird in every subsequent movie he made, including Arsenic and Old Lace in 1944. And I did a review on both of these movies if you'd like to click the link and check them out. Among his roles were Uncle Bill's pet, seen in Building and Loan, in It's a Wonderful Life in 1946, And he was also the crow that landed on the Scarecrow in The Wizard of Oz in 1939. Jimmy could do any assortment of tricks such as opening mail, operating a typewriter, lighting a cigarette, flipping magazine pages, and dealing a hand of poker. He could even ride a tiny motorcycle. Jimmy could understand several hundred words. It took Jimmy a week to learn a new useful word, and 2 weeks if it had 2 syllables. Twyford said that Jimmy could perform any task possible for an 8-year-old. While making It's a Wonderful Life, Jimmy Stewart, the actor, stated that when they called Jimmy to the set, they both answered. He also stated the Raven is the smartest actor on the set, requiring fewer takes than his human counterparts. After becoming popular, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer had Jimmy insured for $10,000. This policy was to cover Jimmy's $500 a week fee, as well as Curly Twyford's $200 handler's fee. Jimmy received a Red Cross gold medal in acknowledgement of 200 hours spent entertaining veterans after the war. Neither Rin Tin Tin or Lassie, both of whom work with Jimmy, could claim such an honor. Jimmy's footprints were enshrined in cement at a large Los Angeles pet store, alongside those of Lassie and other famous animal stars from Hollywood. Isn't that amazing? And the answer to our trivia question this week, did someone who played in this film have a serious health issue during a difficult dance number? They certainly did, and it was Betty Grable. Betty Grable collapsed once while filming a difficult dance number, and at the end of production, she had an impacted wisdom tooth that made her face swell up. After a brief hospital visit, she moved on to her next picture, which was a Yank in the RAF with Tyrone Power. And I have that movie if you'd like a review on that one. I hope you like my videos. If you can actually support my channel and subscribe, that'd be a big plus for me. And if you've subscribed recently, I want to give out a big thank you. I gotta go. The mailman just showed up. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I hope to see you back next week.